Hey guys, so I'm back in the Proton Iriz, and today I'm going to talk about the rear space. Now, this is my comfortable sitting position in front, and the amount of legroom that I'm left with is so much, right? Some of you may complain that this car is small, but the thing is this. In this car, you get pretty much a very long seat base, and then, can you see this? It's actually pretty alright because the seats are tall enough for me to slide my legs downwards. And then in terms of space, I get this much of leg room, and for headroom I get about this much. So the headroom is actually better than the Corolla Altis. I mean, how much of money is the Corolla Altis? I mean, like, the Altis is about 110,000, and then it has lesser headroom than this, and the plastics inside are not very good as well for its price. Yep, so the plastics are still very smooth at the back, and so as this part as well. And yeah, by the way, this thing is adjustable, don't worry about that. And yep, you don't get any built-in hooks on the seat, okay? No anti-snatch hooks like the Myvi, but anyway, so my mother just got herself some hooks at the back, right? And as usual, the fucking dog barking at the back, you get some chrome door handles as well, or maybe you call this well, alloys or something like that. And yeah, the surface is actually quite smooth, so it's very nice to the touch. And then when you want to open the doors, right, so you basically have to bend your hand down a bit like this. And yeah, so if they make it a bit straighter or something like that, then I guess it would be easier for me to use, right? And then at this part, something I don't like is that this edge here is quite sharp, to be honest. I hope that maybe they make it a bit rounder or something like that. And yeah, hard plastics, but they feel substantial and solid. And over here, the handrest is not as wide as the one in front, but anyway, I think it's alright. Can you see that? My hands are still comfortable, and of course the switch feels not bad, to be honest. Yep, so smooth surface here as well. Oops. Okay, still quite smooth lah. Well, it lets you, how to say, now this surface, right, it is made a little bit rougher so that you know that, okay, when you rest your hands here, your hands won't suddenly slide away, or something like that. And then over here inside the pocket has some patterns as well. Yep, a lot of little touches here and there. And then over here you get a very generous cup holder, which also says the same thing. It says bottle only. Yep. And as I mentioned before, there are no speakers here because this is the low spec version. So if you want more speakers, get the executive model, okay? And yeah, so this is where the seat belt is located at, over this section, right? And the quality actually feels good, to be honest. And press here to fold down the seats. I'll do that later probably. And yeah, the seat base is actually pretty nice. And then it's quite generous, right? The seats are kind of tall, to be honest. And then over here, the headrests, they feel soft, okay? So when I try to put my head down, it feels like it's gonna sink into it. Now, let me demonstrate to you, right? So when I'm sitting down at the back, I normally sit like this. Okay, I don't purposely go and lay my head down like this, because if you do this all the time, then you will realize that the fixed headrest of this car is actually not so good. But if you sit like normal like this, then actually the car feels comfortable. Actually, not many things to talk about at the back. And yeah, so there's actually a 3-point seat belt over here, which I don't dare to use because can't spoil this thing, and then I don't want to spoil this thing because, well, what for you want to experiment things? Otherwise, I will have to imitate an accent and say that, 这个不是我们做的呀，这个是以前普腾做的呀，我们现在宝腾已经不是这样的品质了呀。 So at the back, right, you don't get any handles, so if you're taking a fast corner in this car, maybe your passengers may feel a little bit scared. But anyway, for the front, you get the handle. This car, the chassis is very stable, so I don't think that you need this handle all the time, right? It's Proton ride and handling. You get Isofix mounts, okay? And yep, so you can see that this is where the metal is located at. And as usual, you get some martini straps at the back, and then some red straps over here at the side supports as well. And yeah, so it's trying to tell you that, okay, so basically this is where the seat starts to sink inside, okay, and then this is where the surface becomes flatter and straighter. And then at this part, it tells you again that the seats go down like this. So yep, it's trying to remind you about the shape, the bolstering shape. Yep, overall the seat, the fabric is not the smoothest fabric, I would say, because over here the fabric feels like I don't know, maybe a sponge or something like that, because it is not the fabric that you find in some Japanese cars, or maybe the older Myvi for that matter, right? This fabric is kind of textured, I would say. Not the smoothest, because when I just got this car, I sat inside. I feel like, what the hell, because the fabric is not very smooth. Even you look at the front seats as well. Sorry about that. You can see it. It's not entirely smooth. In fact, when I first rub my arm on it, right, I just feel that the fabric is kind of abusive, to be honest. Anyway, it's a sports car, right? Everyone calls it, everyone says that this car can go for rally, it can go for the archery race at Sepang, all these kind of things. And yeah, I think that these kind of seat materials, right? In fact, in the pre-facelift model, okay, I cannot call it a pre-facelift, because now in the 2014 model, right, I noticed that the seats are actually smoother than this one. This one, they somehow want to make things rougher or something like that. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure if you like it or not, because for me, I'm not a fan of the rough fabric. But if you like it, then yeah, maybe this seat design is for you. But for me, I just don't see how nice it is. And I noticed that this version of the Iriz, right, the seats at the back, they are sculptured inwards as well. So it gives you the impression of space. But no matter what it is, right, I noticed that in the Persona, because that time last week I wrote in a new Persona, I noticed that the Persona is actually more spacious. I'm not sure, is it because my father adjusts the seat very forwards or what, but anyway, I just find that in the Persona, right, everything is more airy, more spacious, more family friendly or what. But in this car, I mean, this is a hatchback. I mean, people buy hatchbacks because, you basically don't need a lot of space, okay? In fact, I would say this, in a hatchback, right, the rear seats are not exactly important, because who buys a hatchback for family use, right? You're just going to buy it to maybe take a few of your friends out for football, maybe take your friends out for some nightclub sessions or what. Yeah, I'm just being in the trend or something, right? Yeah, but I mean, Proton did a good job. They think of this. They say that, okay, I want to make people feel comfortable in the car no matter what specification that you buy. So they make it very long, and then they just feel that, an average human body, right, will be like this and be like this. I mean, like, as us Malaysians, because most of us are around 170, 175, or maybe some people are still shorter than that height. But anyway, no matter how big or small you are, okay, let's say you are 175, alright? So maybe your head will be around here, alright? And then your knees will be around here or here. And yeah, you just imagine someone as tall as 175 sitting in this car. I mean, I think it's alright, to be honest. The the comfort levels, the seat angle, you know, you can see that actually this part is taller and this part they lower down a bit, right? Not sure if you can see it from the camera angle or what. And then over here they decide to make it a little bit reclined. In fact, in the Persona it is more reclined than this. Anyway, because the Persona is a family car anyway, a cheap family car. And yeah, I mean, it's not bad to be honest. Compared to some Japanese rivals, you know, they make everything so flat. They make everything so, you know, they give you the smallest seat base. You know, if you think about the Nissan Almera, they give you such a stingy design. But in this car, they just make everything, I wouldn't say it's perfect because the seat is not entirely smooth. But then again, it's nice to be honest. It is nice for what it is, right? Okay guys, so thank you for watching my reviews, and if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. If you have anything to ask me, just leave your comments down below. And yep, including about the Mandarin review, I will make it next week because basically I don't have much time now, because basically last week when I was talking about the front part of the car, it took me about 45 minutes, you know. And if I want to make a Chinese version, of course, it will be as long as 45 minutes as well. So, yep, stay tuned. Goodbye. I forgot something. So, this part is thinner than the front. Can you see that? Oops, the camera. So, you can see at that part, the grip is actually a bit thicker. And over here, it's actually thinner to hold. So, yeah, I don't know why my camera has so much of noise. Oh, the zoom is nice. Damn nice, man. I didn't know my Oppo was so great. Anyway, yeah, this part is actually thinner. I mean, because the overall length is thinner anyway. Imagine if they make this as thick as the one in front. I don't know, man. I don't know how many people will complain about the lack of space. But I mean, this car, after sitting and riding in it for 1 year, right? Okay, from here all the way to that part, right? I noticed that this car is actually quite spacious, to be honest. I mean, okay, from outside, of course, it looks very small and blah blah blah. But when you sit inside, right, you rarely have the impression that you will touch or hug the person next to you, because basically the space is amazing. I mean, the width is amazing, lah. When it comes to legroom, of course, you sacrifice a lot of legroom, because imagine if the person in front is about 175, right? Because I'm 171, and then this is my sitting position, and then what I am left with at the back is, you know, I won't say that you will feel like a sardine at the back, but I just hope that they increase the legroom just a bit, you know, maybe make this car a bit longer or what. Anyway, these are the small things that I don't like. Yeah. Alright, I wanted to transplant myself to the front. I want to talk about something. If you notice this part, right, it is actually, there's a gap over here. And I don't know, is it because Proton cut corners while manufacturing this car or not? But you know, when I notice this gap, right, I find it a bit uncomfortable, because Geely has their involvement in Proton right now. The Iriz is the first product after Geely came into the picture. And this part as well, you can see it. Over here it is flatter, and then over here it becomes a bit uneven, you know, you can see it. The surface is a bit different. Yeah, I don't know why, but anyway.